Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Drop-In Show, where the Teach Better team is live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We are so excited you are here with us. It is Friday, November 19th, which means Brad Hughes is here. We're wrapping up our theme. We have holidays, we have good news articles, and we are taking your questions live. So stick with us. Go fill up your coffee. Oh my gosh, before I spill mine, and let's get started. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing, Brad?
I'm doing really well, Ray. How are you doing?
Good, Brad. It seems like your audio is a little different today, but you look fabulous, and we're gonna roll with it. Maybe you have a different mic you're using or something.
Yes, I can fix that.
Oh well. Hey, I mean, I think it's good. You kind of sound like you're in like space, and you're coming to us
Space?
from
Oh
another
my
area.
word.
It's like you kind of sound like you're in the distance, like you're this Brad Hughes reporting from the moon. You know what I mean? It's kind of a thing.
How's this sound, Ray? Is that better?
Oh my gosh, now you're back on planet Earth. It's almost disappointing, to be honest.
Fantastic. I mean, people often presume that I'm spaced out. So I wanted to make sure I had the mic switched on correctly so our show could be out of this world, right?
I am such a fan, Brad. I'm such a fan. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Drop-In. We're thrilled you're here. We are just getting started on this beautiful and relatively chilly Friday morning, depending on
Yep.
where you are. For me, it was very cold outside. You got kind of like, the, oh gosh, what's it called? The frost on the ground and on all the cars. So it's going, friends. We're gonna start off this day. It's gonna be fabulous. Brad, how's your week been?
It's been a great week. Yeah, great week. Yeah, great week. Lots of highlights, lots of learning, lots of moving people forward, but mostly we're taking some intentional time. We have a staff development day today in our district for elementary schools. So we're going to start by taking some intentional time today, Ray, to celebrate the things that have been going right. We know how hard work has been and how challenging life has been. And so we're just going to celebrate and reflect on the great things that are happening, even small things that are helpful to kids and helpful to the staff that serve them. How was your week?
Phenomenal. Oh my gosh. I mean, great, but I love your mindset in this. We have a ton of friends in the chat saying good morning. Good morning to all of you. We're thrilled to have you here live.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for participating with us and tuning in as we stream over on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Brad, before I go into my week, I have a question for you.
Yep.
If you could give me one professional positive from this week and one personal positive from this week, would you be able to do that?
For sure. Actually, they're actually connected. Yesterday, Dr. Dave Schmittou from our Teach Better team tweeted out that he strongly believes that self-care is connected to care for others. And this has been my intentional shift for myself in my work, is continuing to be intentional about that care and also recognizing that care for others helps shift me out of intrusive thoughts, out of perseverance on things that aren't going well. Because let's face it, as we opened up things, it's tough. It's tough to strive for great leaps and bounds when really you're just moving things forward maybe an inch at a time. But that inch, Ray, can make all the difference between today and tomorrow, and that's what we're focusing on. So it's been that's been my success this week is helping move myself forward by helping move others forward too.
I love that mindset. I think you're so spot on in focusing on the fact that when you are better, you can serve others better. And I think that that's hard to understand. Sometimes we feel the need to give and give and give and give, and
Mhm.
we put ourselves kind of at the bottom of the list and say that we'll get to us later. And I think that was such a wonderful concept. Shout out to Dr. Dave Schmittou
Mhm.
dropping truth bombs over on Twitter. I love it.
Well, it feels good to help, doesn't it? I mean, if we can remind ourselves and also remind our students, and we've been doing so all week, taking a shift from random acts of kindness to how about intentional acts of kindness? How about intentionally being a little kinder than necessary? And we've been we've been sharing out to our students, pay attention to how it makes others feel and pay attention to how it makes you feel too. Lifting others gives us a lift, And for many of us, where service is our love language, that just feeds our mind, body, and soul, and gets us ready to contribute more.
I love it. Fantastic. I do also appreciate those of you that are putting in your professional and your personal wins for the week. I love that. I love that challenge that you've chosen to take on. Keep it up. I can't wait to read those in a little bit. Brad, I think that this week was such an interesting one because the weather kind of shifted where I was. And I really love the fact that I was able to see snow this week. That was kind of a win. That's a win for me. But also, there's so many things going on in education. I've had so many conversations with different teachers, different administrators, who are really understanding that while this year is hard, there are wins to be had. And I love that, there's this different approach of let's celebrate what's going well, because sometimes it's easier to focus on what's not going well and the hard things in our day. I think that you're bringing a great mindset to the show this morning, Brad.
I've got a gift, a framed print on my wall in the office from a beloved colleague that says, "We can do hard things." And I joke with my staff, yeah, we can do hard things, but do they have to be so dang hard all the dang time? Like, can we just not catch a break? Can we do some hard things and then can we rest and get ready for more hard things?
Yes.
Things are hard almost all the time. And Jennifer Moss, who's an author and a researcher in workplace wellness, reminds us that is that can be harmful because we're constantly in a surge mentality and a surge physiology. Like when you're ready, set, go, you're lined up at the starting blocks and ready to race. That's the surge, and being prepared for emergencies or anything that could happen to us. That means that we're in that surge mentality, that surge mindset, and that surge physiology all the time. It's incredibly draining. We weren't designed for this kind of level of energy conservation and energy management. So let's look after ourselves and look after each other. Give ourselves grace, permission to do small, important things well, and permission to mess up. I mean, the setbacks and the mess ups are absolutely a part of our learning going forward. So look after each other, especially as educators. We can be so hard on ourselves. Look out for each other and remind a colleague who's having a hard time. Everyone is doing the best that they know. And as we know better, we'll continue to do better.
Such a good reminder on a wonderful Friday morning. I want to read some of these professional and personal wins for the week. This is a Facebook user. This is a user over in our Facebook group. Thank you for being in our Facebook group. That's over at teachbettergroup.com. If you are somebody who's eager to join a community of, I think there's over, I want to say 7,000. There's probably 8,000 at this point, 8,000 educators over in that private Facebook group. So stinking fun. It says, professionally, I collaborated with other reading interventionists to develop a plan for our intervention blocks. It was so refreshing. Oh, I love that. Intentional collaboration is always so good. This one here is a personal win. It says, I switched to sodas this week for more coffee, teas, and water. Okay. So you switch soda out to bring in coffee, tea, and water. I think health-wise, that's probably a good win. I'm pretty sure. I'm a huge fan of that. I don't drink a lot of soda. Do you drink a lot of soda, Brad?
Not a whole lot. No, maybe, one a day maximum. Usually in front of the TV on some ice with maybe a snack, maybe some chips or some popcorn. How about you? Are you soda all day long?
I really don't drink soda ever. I think on occasion, maybe once a month. It would not be often, but it's always a Sprite if I'm drinking soda. Otherwise, I'm very much like a tea, coffee, water, or a Gatorade. I'm always up for a Gatorade.
Ray, are you open to supermarket brand sodas, or are you sort of a brand name soda drinker? You mentioned Sprite by name, but of course, all of our favorite grocery chains have their own store brand sodas. And I'm wondering if you or our viewers or listeners can tell the difference. If we swapped out your favorite soda for a store brand, do you have any preferences or any insights on that?
I don't think if I'm aware of it, I probably could create an idea in my head that it tastes different. Because typically I would do only Sprite or Sierra Mist. So if you're giving me an off-brand of that, I could pretend I notice a difference. But I think if we did one of those taste tests where all of them were in a cup, I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference.
Well, if you're watching or listening right now, I mean, if any ideas about this pop into your mind, feel free to let those ideas bubble up into the chat there and let us know, what's your drink of choice, store brand or supermarket brand or brand name.
Oh my gosh, Brad, you are so on it this morning. I don't even know how to process your incredibleness.
I get that a lot. I get that a lot, Ray. I don't even know how to process this, Brad. I don't even know. I'm just going to back away slowly and leave you to your shenanigans. Just
You're
we'll catch up later.
It's so good. This is a personal win. I'm at the Illinois Education and Technology Conference. For those of you who are not aware, that is IETC. It's a great event. They say that they're at their committee and the conference has been phenomenal. That's awesome. I love to hear that. Lori's in the comments saying, personal, I took time to fill my own cup and took a mental health day. Can we talk about this, Brad?
Yes.
So many educators do not do this. She's saying she simply took a day away from school to, recharge her mental health.
It's essential. And we also know that as educators, it can be as much work and cause as much mental toil to anticipate being away from school than it is to actually go in and work our way through and slog it through. A lot of educators, a lot of people in all walks of life are just really feeling that drain, just kind of slogging their way in, slogging their way through, and just kind of shuffling home and saying, okay, 8 hours, 10 hours later, I got to do the whole thing again. So if you have the opportunity and you have, access to days where you can take some time away and recharge, and if you can partner with a colleague so that at least you have some peace of mind that when you're away from school, you've got a close colleague looking out for the guest teacher who's in to support your students. If you're a teacher, looking out for your kids, make sure that those routines, anything that can serve your peace of mind by making a little bit of advanced preparation is absolutely worth it, Ray. You can't pour from empty cups.
Brad, I think this is so spot on. And I really just want to take another intentional moment to discuss this because I think that we do not do this enough. And there is so much guilt and stress that comes from taking a day for us because mental health doesn't feel like a reason. I have so many educators that if they had, a broken leg or they sprained a shoulder or they even had the sniffles, it's like, okay, I understand I need to sleep. I need to rest. I need to go see a doctor. I need to, bandage my wound. And yet mental health, I think it's gotten better because of the last few years that we've had. But mental health continues to be an area that educators are saying, well, this is internal. I'm not bleeding. I shouldn't be taking a sick day. I shouldn't be taking a day away. I'm just, Lori, I'm sure that you feel confident in this decision. I'm sure, I hope that it was an incredible day, but I just want you to know from maybe only this like awkward conversation with me, I am so proud of you for taking this day and I want to celebrate it. I have a number of educators recently that I've talked to in our Teach Better community who have gone days and days and days needing a mental health day and not taking it. And I'm so excited for you. Congratulations. And that's a big win for the week.
I want to gently challenge you there, Ray, here, because that wasn't awkward at all. That was heartfelt. That was compassionate. That was collegial. And mental health is health. I'll say that again. Mental health is health. If you had an internal injury, you'd see someone about it. If you've got an external injury, you see someone about it. I'm not equating mental health with injury, but I know that your brain is part of your body. And your mental health and your well-being is subject to incredible change in incredible stressful and incredibly urgent times. Mental health is health. And so if you have the opportunity, either on your own or with colleagues or a professional or a loved one, to take intentional steps to protecting your mental health and even just naming when you're having a hard time to someone that you love and trust, that can be therapeutic as well.
Well, and I really do appreciate, Brad. I think we talk about a lot of things in theory, but then I always love when somebody can come in with a tactical strategy that actually makes that whatever we're talking about easier. And your focus on buddying up with somebody, like knowing that somebody is there watching over a space that you really care about but are not in that day is so helpful. I mean, I know all of us have our own little outlets for that. It might be the teacher down the hall or a paraprofessional you work with. It could be even somebody that you don't work with directly that's just in the building that's aware of your student population. It's so nice to have just somebody that you can go to and say, I'm not going to be here Monday and I'm going to be stressed that I'm not here Monday, but I need to not be here Monday. And I would so appreciate if I knew that you just had an extra eye on my class, a certain student, even just supporting whatever substitute I have, because I know that sub shortage is just such a terrible situation that we're in right now in so many different communities, and just having somebody. And I have to tell you, I always felt badly doing that, like you're putting work on someone else. And I have to say, and I know this is so lame, I liked being trusted that I could help somebody else in that. It was so nice when I knew somebody needed something and I might not be able to help, but if I could help just like make the day go easier, I loved being able to offer that to somebody. So, I think on either situation, on either end, you're really doing good for yourself.
Just like you said, Ray, lifting others lifts ourselves. And if we're away from work, sometimes we'll hear from school leaders or others, don't put down the phone, leave your email alone, don't text. But sometimes you just need that little bit of reassurance that everything's okay so that you can have the peace of mind to continue to invest in yourself that day. When we look after ourselves and when we invite others to help us with that care, we allow others to rise. We allow others to serve. And many, many educators, their love language is service. And so I know and understand the fear and worry about being away. I also know and understand the worry and fear about putting others out or adding to an already stressful or full plate because of sub shortages. I also know that in my experience as a school leader, but also as a staff colleague, school communities find ways to rise to these occasions, and they strengthen networks and they strengthen connections and they strengthen care through that process. So in the end, we have always figured out ways to make things work. We certainly don't want to overextend our school communities or our school staffs on a repeated basis, but this is our reality, is looking out for each other is essential. And sometimes it might feel that the only person looking out for ourselves is ourselves, and we need to give ourselves permission to do so.
Well, and hopefully if you're in the Teach Better community, you know that you're not only looking out for yourself, but we're looking out for you too. But all we can do is sit on the screen and be like, hey, Brad, make sure you're taking care of yourself. I'm going to text you. I'm going to let you know you need you to do that. So I feel like we're the cheerleaders. There was somebody in the comments has said like their win for the week was that they were able to cheer on their friends. I feel like sometimes that's what we get to do.
If any of our Teach Better family, our listeners or viewers are considering taking some positive steps forward to protect and to strengthen their own mental health, I want to recommend a great book. If you are looking to structure that approach, it's by Lisa Baylis, and it's called Self-Compassion for Educators. It takes the form of a workbook, but it provides a great introduction to why mental health struggles are so common and so understandable in the role and life of an educator. Lisa's introduction and first parts really stress what we've been talking about, Ray, is that self-care is essential to be able to care for others. And then it takes the reader through some steps about actually pausing to gently examine and maybe even challenge one's thoughts that can be self-defeating or that can cause perseverance on the negative or negative anticipation, crystal balling of the future. Anyway, it's a great guide. Lisa Baylis, Self-Compassion for Educators, recommended.
Phenomenal. I appreciate the recommendation. We're going to transition here into our good news article in the holidays, but what a perfect way to sum up that good conversation, Brad. I love being live with you in the morning.
Right on.
We'll be right back, friends. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here with us, whether you are here live as we are streaming over on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch bright and early on this beautiful Friday morning, or if you're listening after the fact on Teach Better Talk podcast. We are thrilled to have you here listening with us. We appreciate you. I will want to note there's another comment that is talking about Mandy Freilich's incredible resources over on her website. Mandy Freilich is not only an incredible member of the Teach Better community, but also a member of our Teach Better Speakers Network. She does incredible work, and we always appreciate any Mandy Freilich information resource guide. So if you have not checked out her resources as well, that could be a great outlet for all of you. Again, Mandy Freilich, you can find her over at teachbetter.com/speakers network. She's right at the top, so it'd be really cool. You know, Brad, we are getting into our holidays and our articles, and I just feel like even though we're running behind, that was such a fun conversation. So we're going to try and go through our holidays really quick, and then I know you have a good article for us. Our holidays today are really interesting. And I want to emphasize, Brad, I was going through the holidays today, and there was some that I was like, oh, this will be really nice to share with our community. And then I did something I've never done before.
Mm-hmm.
I clicked on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
I don't know why it took me all the way to November 19th to realize this, but there are holidays we don't celebrate because we're not live on Daily Drop-In.
what? There are weekend holidays now, Ray? What's going on?
I actually feel like I've been robbed because I have now missed weeks and weeks of content. Only me? I don't know. I mean, maybe this was something all of you were well aware of, but I feel really lost in this segment. I just want you to know. And I mean, thankfully the days shift, because if we're still doing this time next year, those Sunday holidays will be Mondays, but that means we have to wait 2 years to get the Saturday holidays right now into our Daily Drop-In show. Will we really be doing this show in 2 years? I just am not sure.
I think we will. I mean, I think the staying power is there. I mean, if two co-hosts like us continue to show up every Friday morning, or, for you, Ray, Monday to Friday, we're just having a great time. Yeah, I think there's a future for Daily Drop-In 2.0 or 3.0.
I have to tell you, friends, I'm just saying that there are holidays, goofy holidays, like bubblegum holidays and holidays about food items that we are missing. And, what a shame. Really, that's the bad news of the day. But let's get into some good holidays. Today is National Camping Day. I'm not sure what your plans are this weekend, but get out into the fresh air, go camp. I love the picture that represents this holiday over at nationaltoday.org, because it is a beautiful tent with a woman and her dog, which is literally my life. And they're sitting in front of a piece of water. So I'm a fan of any camping that has to do with being by a piece of water. It's also, go figure from our conversation, I feel like maybe you all knew this, it is National Carbonated Beverage Day, which we were just talking about soda.
What?
So
that's amazing.
It sounds like y'all need to go get a soda today, except for, who is it? Lori. Lori, no soda for you. Stick with tea and water. It's fine. We support that.
That's outstanding.
Seriously, it's also Play Monopoly Day. So for those of you that are looking for a fun family game tonight, Monopoly is definitely a good option for you. It's Women's Entrepreneurship Day, which is always wonderful for those of you who participate in our Edupreneur Mastermind. We love to support those of you that are educators at heart, but have that edupreneur, feeling within you. You can maybe have a side hustle that you're working on. There are so many of you doing incredible things outside of our field, specifically in the trenches working with students. So shout out to those of you who have that incredible aspiration. And then the last one, Brad, I'm not a fan. I don't think that this should be a holiday at all. I am actually going to object. I am ignoring that this is a holiday. It's World Toilet Day. I don't know what that means. I don't want to know. It sounds terrible, but I do want to give a shout out to Jeffrey Prickett, who is in the comments. Good to see you, Prickett. He's asking who doesn't love a great game of Monopoly. And I just want to confirm, I would totally be up for a Teach Better Team Monopoly game day. Sign me up.
Ray, I just want to reassure you that even though you're not really excited about World Toilet Day, I myself am bowled over. And I just want to take a seat right now and let you know that I'm flush with excitement. Anyway, I'll be excited enough for both of us, Ray.
You can be excited. I was always in a family. You don't talk about the toilet. That's weird. Why is there a day to celebrate? I will say I appreciate the toilet as a means to have sanitary options to dispose of waste. We're very fortunate to live in a space that's an option. But World Toilet Day, I'm gonna go celebrate the soda day, if that's all right. Soda is gonna be my focus today.
Now you mentioned the unseen and unmentioned holidays on the weekends. Could National Bidet Day be far away? Bidet Day?
I hope that Bidet Day is very soon, because it's way more fun to say. Looks like, so this is what got me. Saturday is Future Teachers of America Day, which it would be so cool to celebrate with students.
Right.
It's also National Adoption Day. I know that's such a beautiful holiday to be able to celebrate. It's Transgender Day of Remembrance. I just think there's some Family Volunteer Day. That's a wonderful one on Saturday. Sunday, let's see what's going on. Sunday, oh my gosh, Brad, it's National Stuffing Day, because we're getting close to the American Thanksgiving.
Right.
It's World Television Day. I mean, there are good things going on.
Maybe. I mean, sorry, yeah, I saw your hand up. Go ahead.
I just want to know, are you a gingerbread cookie person? Because it is World Gingerbread Cookie Day on November 21st. To me, that seems too early. That really should be a December holiday.
I am down for a gingerbread cookie any day of the year. My mom made outstanding molasses cookies, which have the recipe. They're a holiday favorite. And I have a colleague who introduced me to these speculoos cookies from Holland, and they're outstanding. Crisp, spicy, great with a cup of tea. Yeah, anytime.
Okay, Brad, I know we have an article and we are running like 15 minutes behind in the show, but we're ignoring that.
Yes.
This, Brad, I would like to set a petition
Mhm.
that we are going to celebrate the holiday today, even though this holiday is until Sunday.
Yep.
It is called World Hello Day. It says the importance of personal communication to illustrate the preserving of peace and welcomeness to others. I want to encourage every single person, go say hello a little bit more often today. Like walk down the
Yep.
halls, and typically when you'd pass and you'd be shuffling through papers or looking at your phone, pick your head up and say hello to somebody. I like that.
That dovetails very nicely into the good news story of the day, which is about shifting from random acts to intentional acts of kindness and gratitude. And some listeners and viewers may have heard me say that, one of my mottos is let no one pass by unacknowledged. Let no one pass by unacknowledged in your school hallways, in your classrooms, at the mall. Acknowledge doesn't have to be a big deal. It can just be eye contact, a wave, a smile, a nod. You never know who might need it most, and you never know who's walking away from those micro interactions feeling a little bit better, feeling that someone noticed them. I was seen today, and it's essential. And as we keep coming back to, lifting others lifts us up too. So World Hello Day would be outstanding. Let's celebrate it today and every day.
I love it. Intentional acts of kindness is something that I love challenging people to do, but there is a reality to it kind of being something you have to work on first, right? It's not just something that necessarily comes naturally. When we add the word intentional, it really means that there's some sort of thought or forward thinking in ensuring it occurs. And it's actually something that we should and can teach students how to do as well.
It is absolutely something that can be taught. One way to teach it is to model it. And one way to model it is to name your thoughts out loud. When we provide our inner soundtracks to kids, that becomes their inner soundtrack too. So, using question prompts like, how could we make this a little bit better for blank? Who might have an idea to support blank? Who in our school could use our help today? And just making explicit our thoughts and our wonderings about how we can intentionally support others. It builds what I call kind of a radar. So, I have a radar for service. I'm scanning the environment as often as I can for opportunities to connect, help, serve, lighten the mood, lighten the load. And it is absolutely something that we can model and something that we can name to kids. And then when we notice our students doing that themselves, then we can give a private or a public celebration about how it made a difference for others. And we'll come back to the conversation again. Help kids notice how it makes others feel and help them notice how it makes them feel too. Because once you get hooked, it's really hard to turn back, and that life of service, that radar for supporting others can really get turned up to volume 11.
I love it. I love it. I always love a good news article that encourages us to take an actionable step. I think that's so powerful. Alex here is asking, have you seen the TV show Random Acts? They're all very intentional on the part of those doing them. They just seem random to the recipients who were not expecting them. Yeah. So there's a lot of planning that goes into it. And then the person that actually experiences it feels like, it was a random opportunity there. I've never seen this show. I want to go look it up.
And no, neither have I. And I'm wondering, Alex and others, if you've seen this, I wonder if any segments from this show would be impactful for our students or our staff members. It is absolutely a mindset that a school leader can model and promote within a school building. And really, it doesn't have to start with sort of leading the way. It can start with naming the great things that are happening back to people. That's a huge passion of mine in all aspects of my school leadership, is reflecting back everyone's great work, because often they don't hear or feel or see that it's noticed or making an impact. And so when we do that, we lift others, we lift ourselves. When we reflect best practice back to our colleagues and teachers, it gives them an incentive, I hope, to continue to know that it's noticed and appreciated. But again, come back to that. How does it make others feel? How does it make you feel?
Yeah, Brad, it's interesting. I know the article for our good news is about 5 mindful acts of kindness, which really gives us like something to hold on to, 5 things that we can go and do. But there are so many ways to just brighten someone's day. I mean, a silly thing that I strived to do yesterday, which I won't talk too much about, but like you find a funny video and then you send it to somebody. Doesn't matter what the funny video is. Maybe the funny video has something to do with something. But it's like you send it to somebody, maybe you get a giggle, and it's like, I don't know that that's an act of kindness, but it feels good.
I can tell you that I am certain that it is received as an act of kindness, and it's always wonderful in the middle of a day just to know that someone else was on your heart and mind. And our Teach Better team member Liv Chan reminds us that whenever someone comes to your heart or mind, that they're there for a reason. Mm-hmm. So if you're able to take 10, 15 seconds and send a quick text with a smile or a heart emoji or a thumbs up emoji or thinking of you. It can take literally 15 seconds to let others know that that they're on your heart or mind. And it's another way to uplift.
Well, and you're right that anything feels good, right? Like, I mean, you're looking at, like, you can send a text message if you have their cell phone number. You can send a direct message to somebody over on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, wherever you're connecting with them in our educational community. Just send them a green heart. I like that concept. I didn't think of it that way. It just feels good that someone was thinking of you. And our international Teach Better symbol of I care about you is a green heart. And I just think, even if you don't say anything, just a little emoji is just warms you back up. I love that. That's good. I'm gonna send some green hearts today.
I'm all over. I mean, it could be National Green Heart Day every day, I think. And back to that little video clip that you may have sent to someone, it was not only a recognition of someone being seen and thought of, but when you're able to send something that's personal and it becomes a surprise, it helps the person know that they're known, appreciated, and loved for what they offer. And it's these little gifts of surprise that can really make the difference and really, speaking personally, make a positive turn in someone's day. You never know who might need that boost or why. It doesn't really matter who or why. Those boosts are welcome. So send them.
So good. So good. I do have to say, I don't have enough Teach Better family members in my phone. So if I don't have your phone number yet, I need you to text me so I can have your number or direct message me your number because I'm going to send some green hearts today, but I'm worried that I don't have enough people's, contact information. So if you're connected to the Teach Better team, I feel like my phone number is everywhere, but I'm giving you my phone number to text me because I want to have your number. It's 847-721-5503. You can rewatch that to get the thing again. Text me so I have your number so I can send you green hearts. I think that would be so fun. Brad, anything else in that article we want to note before we get into kind of like our discussion for the week?
Well, the combination of mindfulness and intentionality, Ray. And so mindfulness, intentionality, that can go back to our discussion about mental health. It's pausing and both, accepting or relishing each moment as it comes to us and really avoiding dwelling on unknown futures or beating ourselves up for past that we have no ability to recover. Into every day, there will be a little uncertainty. There will be setbacks. There will be disappointments. There might be sadness and elation. But in every moment of every day, we are literally creating our worlds and our lives into existence. So with each moment, there's an opportunity to create something new, even if it's something very, very small that might take us from the situation where we are to a slightly better situation for ourselves and for others. And so that was the connection I wanted to make, is that mindfulness, that appreciation, that intentionality. It's something that is within each of our grasps, even in limited ways when we're stressed out. So I hope that article makes a positive difference to people as we approach Thanksgiving in the U.S.
I love it. I cannot wait to continue this conversation, as our theme this week that we're going to be wrapping up on this Friday morning is all focused on getting a little bit creative before the end of the month And so as we look at a few different opportunities we have to get creative, bring creativity into our lives and into our classrooms, I'm sure we'll be able to make a lot of connections to acts of kindness and other ways to celebrate others. So we'll be right back for our brainstorm bank. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Drop-In. We are 35 minutes in today, and we are talking about our theme this week. As you guys know, that our brainstorm bank was created as an intentional time to pause and reach out to you and say, hey, friends, do you need anything? We are here to be a brainstorm partner with you, regardless of what you're going through. It can be a personal discussion, a professional discussion, something that you are grappling with at home or working through at school. We are here so that you always understand that you are not alone and you always have a partner here with you to help you find a solution. You know, Brad and I don't promise to have all the answers by any means, but we absolutely can be here to share some perspectives and maybe point you in a direction of somebody else that can support you in some sort of way. So if you have anything that you're currently working through professionally or personally, please feel free to put it in the comments at any time, at any point during the show. But we did have a theme this week that was all about creativity. And Brad, you are quite a creative person. So I was eager to hear your perspective on the mindset of encouraging others or encouraging yourself to get a little creative before the end of the month.
I would love to dive into that, Ray. And I think it begins with just acknowledging that creativity is within everyone's grasp. Long ago, creativity was seen as sort of the purview of only a certain few artists or painters or sculptors or visionaries. Really, creativity is within everyone's grasp. When I taught visual arts, part of the intentionality of my classroom was welcoming everybody in and really reminding them that creativity is for everyone. Anytime that we are bringing something new into the world, anytime we're experimenting with ideas, in part of our previous segment, just taking things from one place to another with a small improvement, that is creative. That is creating a world right in front of us. The visual arts classroom was an outstanding environment for me to nurture creativity. And when we talk about noticing and naming those gifts, often we don't know we have those gifts until someone points it out. And seeing that the process of ongoing communication in a classroom or in a staff room or in an office or a school community or a household about how we all have creativity within our grasp is essential, because it doesn't belong to only a certain few. It belongs to everyone, and everyone has the opportunity to create, whether it's words, works of art, relationships. Think about relationships. I mean, we are creative in our relationships each and every day. So whenever we are bringing something new or something improved or something enhanced, we're learning from experience. That is creativity. It belongs to everyone.
Brad, you legitimately read my mind, because all week I was like, I want to ask Brad to define creativity. All week I wanted to ask you this.
Wow.
And I think that is so essential. I'm so glad that you're able to touch on that point, because when we say, hey, by the end of the week or by the end of the month, let's try and be a little creative. And we talked about on Monday, just like 1%, if you had 1% of yourself to give to being a little creative this week, what can you go do? How can you share that? We didn't necessarily mean an art project, right? That we're not talking about putting our hands in paint and making, a turkey. Like, that is a way to be creative, and we appreciate the arts, of course. I'm a huge advocate. Obviously you are too, but there are other ways to be creative as well. And I think that is an important element to focus on today.
In our school settings, I wonder how many of us participate on school-based or resource or support teams, where we come together around some data or a problem of practice. Maybe it's a student success, and we figure out what hasn't yet worked, and then we brainstorm some ideas and some resources about what might work. Maybe it's professional learning, maybe it's a classroom resource, maybe it's additional information from outside of our school. That's creativity. That's recognizing a need and recognizing an opportunity, bringing new ideas to the fore, deciding who can do what and how, and learning from the process. That's creativity to me. It belongs to everyone. A parent calls me and has a concern or has a question, seeking to understand what the parent needs, and then crafting a response that's going to meet the parent's needs and expectations that's creating, that's creativity, and we're learning in the process. Creativity is all around us, and author Rob Bell is someone that I really recommend in terms of his perspective on the creative life, and especially creating things out of adversity, creating things out of some of life's worst circumstances. So, Rob will argue, and I agree that, we are literally creating our lives every moment. And that's really humbling and exciting to know the absolute power that we have to shape our thoughts, shape our experiences, and really, and very humbly, to shape the experience of our loved ones around us. It's huge.
So good. A lot of at least educators in the US with Thanksgiving next week may not be teaching at all next week. They might only be teaching Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, and they have Thursday, Friday off. But I was thankful when this theme came up that next week isn't the end of the month yet. We still have a few more days afterwards, regardless of where you are in the world. You still have a week and a half to do something creative before the end of the month. And so being able to talk about this now gives you ample time to be able to do a little bit of something. So Brad, any kind of like challenge that you can give our community related to this topic, focused on, okay, I have exactly a week and a half to do something, bring a little bit more creativity to the work that I am doing every single day. How can I ensure that happens?
I'm going to start, and I'm going to be bold here, Ray. I'm going to say, drop the deadline. You don't just have a week to get it done. You've got as much time as it needs. So let's just press pause for a second and say, my first challenge is to reflect on how you may have been creative yesterday. How might you have been creative yesterday? I say the word might because if we use the conditional might, it takes the pressure off. It's not how were or how weren't. It's how might I have been creative yesterday? What comes to mind for you? What new solution? What new idea? What new creation? What new conversation? What new learning? What new learning did you spark yesterday? That's creation. What new inspiration did you share with a child or a colleague yesterday? It was small. Hey, what small word of advice or grace or greeting or kindness did you share yesterday? That created a response in the individual. That's creative. So let's start by naming and really recognizing that creativity is within each of us, and we've been creating all along. It's not something that we have to start or stop doing. We've been creating all along. And then use that personal insight to notice how you are creative today. What is your creative impact in your relationships, in your working life, in your personal life, on your drive to or from work, or in your interactions with your grocery store on the way home, or if you're picking up food on the way home? How are you creative today? And then finally, as we do look ahead to the end of the month, or as we look ahead to the end of forever, let's just celebrate the creativity that is within each of us. And maybe we could be the ones within our school communities to sort of share this message forward, to your school leaders or to your colleagues. Let's identify and celebrate how we are a creative community. How might we be creating right under our very noses? We don't even recognize what we're doing. And all of us have that opportunity. So that's my advice, Ray, is just reflect, take a look, intentional look at how you're creative today, and then carry that banner forward that, we are all part of creative communities.
Brad, outstanding. I am so thrilled that you took us in that direction. And I think that there are so many different challenges and deadlines we can put on ourselves, but you have blown my mind to really open up our minds to this concept by talking about yesterday and talking about the word might, and making sure that we're using language and reflection to get where we need to be. So I could not be a bigger advocate. We're going to go into our weekly recap. You guys know this is my favorite jingle. We'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. We're at the tail end of our daily drop-in show this morning. We have been running behind the whole time, and we're just going to continue to run behind because this is such fun conversation. And it's all right because Brad Hughes is here. And if anybody gets upset that we were behind in the show, I'm just going to tell them it was Brad's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Ray, quick question. When you hear that jingle, and we know that hits just right, if that jingle were a hot beverage,
Ooh.
what would it be?
That is Sprite for sure. Like a Sprite commercial needs that
Oh
jingle.
yeah.
Like the bursts of flavor and the carbonation. And I just feel like you can see
Oh.
the fuzz. I say, okay, fuzzing wasn't right. Fizzing of the beverage. I'm a fan. I feel like there'd be people laughing and smiling, maybe some cheersing. We could go into production of a soda commercial, I think.
I really think we could. I mean, both of us both enjoy those warm and cold beverages, and I think that there is a future in media production for us as long as we avoid the canned comments. Then we'll be okay.
Brad Hughes, always with the puns. I will say, Alex is popping. I think he's popping in and saying that would be a hot cocoa with sprinkles. Hold on. If we are stepping away from soda, I am a huge fan of a hot chocolate and whipped cream and sprinkles. I think sprinkles is their own food group. Anything with sprinkles is phenomenal. Anytime you can add sprinkles to your day just got better. I would absolutely support a hot chocolate like commercial with that music as well. I think there's a lot of variety here.
Yeah, during the break, I was just kind of jamming to that, and I kind of closed my eye, and I'm with Alex. It reminds me of something smooth, cocoa-y, or smooth coffee, sweet kind of, just hits just right.
Are you a whipped cream kind of person? Like I love whipped cream. Whipped cream like is always good on top of a hot
Oh,
chocolate.
I like whipped cream on my whipped cream, Ray. That's how I roll.
See, that's kind of how I usually order my ice cream. Can I get sprinkled on the side of vanilla? Like that's really how I phrase it. I feel like you would go into a beverage location, maybe a Starbucks or a fun spot and be like, can I get some whipped cream with, like a side of hot chocolate underneath? I don't know. Whatever.
I think I've decided that segment or that segue is for me. It would be Irish coffee with extra whipped cream.
Ooh, have you seen Brad? Okay, the movie The Holiday. Have you ever seen that? Okay, it's my favorite movie. Maybe I think it's my first favorite movie of all time. And there's a scene where Jude Law, who is one of the characters, is giving. Ooh, I don't know if this is a spoiler alert. Anyway, he's giving two girls, it's two of his daughters, hot chocolate. They're talking about how they're counting the marshmallows, and I love that scene. It's so cute. Oh, such a good movie. Anyway, recapping the week, friends. If you've missed this week, there was a whole lot that went on, so we're not going to be able to nearly discuss all the things. But just to give you some context of who joined the show on Monday, obviously Jeff Gargas and I were live. We had some really great discussion. The Good News article kind of gave you a tactical idea that you might want to go and do with students at any grade level. So definitely head back to that conversation. On Tuesday, we had a wonderful new member of our Teach Better community, which was Mr. Martinez. He is a middle school principal in the Illinois suburbs, and he had so much passion. Like, talk about somebody who just oozed the cool factor. I mean, Brad, I know that you were joining us live on that day, and it was such good conversation, don't you think?
It hit just right. And I remember I felt like Elian was speaking directly to me. He was telling me what I needed to hear in that moment to face the day with a positive mindset and an incredible mix of inspiration and reassurance. And I love the name of his podcast as well. Oh, for heaven's sake! I love the name. Anyway, it has to do with insight and effectiveness.
It was wisdom
and productivity. Thank you. Wisdom and productivity. And I've listened to a few of his episodes on the way to and from work since that episode, and it's outstanding. Check it out, and a great guest and a great addition to our family.
I have a feeling you're going to see Mr. Martinez more often in our lives. I know that our podcast network is supporting his work, and I also heard his name come up recently. Okay, Brad, how can I phrase this to you? There was a secret meeting about an upcoming date where we will be live for an extended period of time, and I just heard his name come up as a option there. So I'm not spreading any rumors. Nope. I'm just saying a meeting was had. So,
Understood.
Yeah, it's good. Moving on from there, Wednesday, we had the incredible Vernon Wright join us. He was dropping tidbits left and right. Sure was. So good. Thursday, Jeff Gargas was live with the one and only James O'Neill. If you have not watched his TED Talk, friends, you have not lived. Definitely go check out James O'Neill and his incredible TED Talk. And then obviously you're here with us on this beautiful Friday. Brad, we have next week a brand new theme, but it is a weird week next week. So we talk about that really quick before we leave today.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay. So next week, we are only live for the Daily Drop-In on Monday and Tuesday, which I know sounds very strange. We are, I think at the time we were like, oh, this is normal. Now I feel like it's very, very odd. We are only going to be here Monday and Tuesday. We will not have the show on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday next week. And I want to blame Thanksgiving, but I'm not sure how I can, because Wednesday is definitely not a holiday and we're still not here. So I don't know what happened. Apparently there was some beautiful being that decided Ray was allowed to sleep in for 3 days in a row. I don't quite know how to manage that. I might come live just to tell you that I'm lonely. But just so you know, next week on the 24th, 25th, and 26th, we will not have Daily Drop-In. So next week, you have 2 days to soak us up, and there are definitely some good conversations to be had. Brad, I know you already know this, but you are live on Monday morning. You are hosting the show with the one and only Jillian. Are you ready for that?
Talk about a crazy week and a crazy way to get started. I know that our Wednesday to Friday action is on pause, and I'm going to say that that's intentional care for our Teach Better team and family members. And I am so excited to partner with Jillian Du Bois on Monday morning, kicking off our theme of team building. Jillian is an exceptional team member and is also just an exceptional educator and exceptional person. So I'm going to be looking forward to digging in with Jillian on what effective teams can be and how she works within her many teams to promote wellness, success, and care.
It's going to be so good. Yes, our theme that week is going to be obviously you guys are going to talk about so many things, but team building is the focus next week. So we have 2 days focused on team building. I can only imagine that conversation is going to be so good. I will be listening from my car because I will be in the car driving to go work with the school district. I'll actually be working with that school district. I'll be meeting up with Chad, Dave, Jeff, Katie Miglin, and Andrea. And we will all be together working with a number of different schools. So it's going to be a crazy Monday. I cannot wait to hear that conversation. On Tuesday the next week, Jamie Flower White is joining us. For those of you who are active in our admin mastermind, Jamie is a phenomenal educator, a phenomenal administrator. I cannot wait to hear her perspective on team building on Tuesday. It's going to be very cool.
Jamie's heart, to listen to Jamie speak it's life-changing. Jamie speaks directly to the heart, and just the soothing warmth of her voice is all that I need, and I'm going to take away so much more from Tuesday. So I look forward to reconnecting. It's been a minute, Jamie, so I'm looking forward to reconnecting with you through our daily drop-in on Tuesday.
I felt the same way. I think I interacted with her so much over 2020. She was such an advocate for so many things, and she was really, really active in the Teach Better community. I think that this semester, everybody has just been so busy. I haven't seen her in a while, and I'm so excited to talk shop with her. But between her numerous books and everything that she's been able to do, I just love, you were saying, hearing her speak. Like she is somebody who could just talk to me all the time to like calm my mind. Like she just has one of those voices. So between her next week and Jillian, I think that's why we couldn't be live Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, because there's just going to be too much love and great ideas shared.
All our listeners and viewers are just going to be, for the rest of the week. It's just like, it's going to be soothing, inspiring. It's going to be reassuring and energizing. All of this. It's going to be like a week-long cup of hot cocoa and sprinkles.
Oh my gosh, what a great way to wrap that up, Brad. I'm so impressed.
Thank you.
We are going to head out, but we want to wish you the best stinking Friday, friends. It is Friday, November 19th. I know that there might be something in your day that might feel challenging. There might be something in your day that you are anxious to go and tackle, but we are here to tell you it is going to be a great Friday. And regardless of what might be on your calendar ahead, we cannot wait to be here to support you and cheer you on, and then be there at the end to celebrate your victory. So please know that we are always here if you need anything. We will be back bright and early Monday morning. Brad will be back at least to continue our conversation for Daily Drop-In. And if anything comes up between now and then that you need, please feel free to reach out at any time. Please also take on the challenge of not only creativity, but sending a few green hearts to somebody today just to boost them up on this beautiful Friday. I know there's many of us in the Teach Better community who are going to appreciate that little emoji. So we appreciate you. Brad, it was so fun being live with you, friend. It's so good to see you.
So good to see you too. Have a wonderful weekend, and Teach Better family. We'll see you back here on Monday.
Bye, guys.